you for coming to Cologne.
Thank you for being here for me.
It's really an honor to have you here. It really is. And we're so excited again to hear a bit from you about the original experience in Star Wars. And maybe you can start by maybe telling especially the younger audience about how you get into Star Wars and what you thought about Star Wars the first time you entered the universe.
Well, the first Star Wars film was so wonderful. You'll all agree, I think. All we young actors with aspirations went to see the Star Wars, which was a completely new invention. We'd seen space films before, which were brilliant, and suddenly the screen opened and in came these extraordinary aeroplanes between the rocks, and we all went, ah! It was so exciting. So when I was asked to do the second one, I was extremely interested in doing it. Would you like me to tell you how I got it? Yes. I do hope you understand what I'm saying. I got it, you could say it was rather dishonesty. My next door neighbour was the executive producer of Star Wars and Indiana Jones, called Robert Watts. And he lived literally next door to me, and I knew him as a friend, someone to have a drink with, and one day we were in the garden and talking across the fence, as you do, and I asked him what he was doing, and he said he was doing the second Star Wars film. And I said, oh, that's good, I'm looking forward to that. He said, do you want to be in it? Well, I couldn't believe my ears. I said, yes, I do. And he said, well, there's not a very big part, but a very important part, which I think you could play. And so I played General Viz. I mean, good God. And the same thing happened with Indiana Jones. Not over the garden fence this time, but he suggested me for Indiana Jones. But he suggested me for the part of the Nazi colonel in it, you know, the one I mean. And but I didn't get that part. But then they all offered me Walter Donovan. Whoa! Hello, thank you very much indeed. So that's my little history of getting those two wonderful roles in film.
You play General Veers, and he's one of those surviving Vader and having kind of a very strong attitude, even facing Vader in some situations. So what were your approach to being or playing a general? Were there models that you had in mind to play a general with this attitude?
Well, sometimes people say that General Veers is a bad man. Well, I don't think he was a bad man. He was fighting for his country, for his own people. His name was General Veers, and he was a damn good general, and that's how he fought. Any good general will be the same. General Montgomery for the English in the last war. General, who for you? I don't know, can't remember now. But he was a very, very good professional soldier. And I didn't go any deeper into the character, because that was the function of that character in that film. And so that's what I played. Upright, strong, determined, I hope not boring.
Never, no. I think the iconic part about General Veers, he's so iconic because he really withstood the energy of Vader. So you were kind of same level with Vader when you were in the room with Vader compared to other officers there.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you get so much from it. I had that one scene with Dave Prowse, dear Dave Prowse inside that carapace, who always thought that his voice should have been the voice of Darth Vader, but it never was, of course. It was not a good voice at all. But I had one good scene with him, which did establish me as someone who was obedient, but had his own head, and which made it interesting to do. It was interesting. It was a very small part, and myself and those other young actors, the general, the admirals, and all those, we all had only about 5 days filming on this, and it was very poorly paid. But I've made a lot of money from it since, like today, signing autographs of General Veers. So I'm very grateful to it. I'm also very grateful to the whole franchise of Star Wars. In my humble opinion, the first 3 Star Wars are the best Star Wars.
The only.
Well, I'm glad you agree, because it's not, the other ones have been very good. They've been very well made. Beautifully, the effects in those stories were very well done indeed, very well acted, but it didn't have the Alec Guinness in it. You know what I mean? It didn't have the heart. They don't have the heart that the first 3 had. So, good, I'm glad you agree. You can come again.
What are your thoughts about that? The dark side, especially the officers, were all British actors.
I'm sorry about that. Well, it was made in England. American money, certainly. But it was made in England, and I think they could have chosen anybody they wanted to be in the second Star Wars film, having established the first one. It's the same with Game of Thrones. Once Game of Thrones started, with mostly English actors, British actors, everyone realised how wonderful it was, and everybody wanted to be in it. And I was in both.
Have you got any questions? Is there anything you would like to know?
Hello, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you again. So I have a question about the last Crusade, Indiana Jones. How was your experience with Harrison Ford behind the scenes?
Yeah.
I'm very deaf. I don't, not only can't walk, I can't hear either. So, while she gives me the question.
You was asking about Harrison Ford in The Last Crusade and what your experience was with him and the setting there.
Well, I had the double wonderful experience in Last Crusade because of Harrison Ford, who is one of the most gentle. He's what I would describe as a gentleman. He's a fine actor. Also a carpenter, we know that. Is quiet, introverted, not at all like Indiana Jones. He has a sense of humour which only comes out rarely, but when it does, he never tells jokes, but he'll throw something over his shoulder, which makes everybody fall over with laughter. And I got on with, well, I think everybody gets on well with him, as long as they are professional in their work, not to mess around, not to be foolish, not to laugh and things like that. He can't bear that. Well, nor can I actually, frankly. Actors who don't do their work, don't learn their lines, and they just waste time. The thing is about, it's like many jobs, many of you have jobs which affect other people as well. And if there are 20 people on a film set and an actor or anybody, a cameraman, gets it wrong, that's 20 people they've made a mess of their lives for that time. And he was very intolerant of that sort of incompetence, but very, very approving of those who had done their work and did the work well. And I hope we all do our work well. We all try anyway. Sorry. Is that okay?
Hello, Mr. Klammer. It's an honor that you are here in Germany. And I think I speak for all of us that we are so thankful that we can listen to your great stories. And my question is, you played a lot of movies and television series. And I think the first time I saw you was in Midsummer Murders, in the very first episode. Midsummer Murders, yeah. And my question is, what was more joyful for you? Little television series or the big Hollywood production, theatrical movies?
You've asked me so many things, I don't know what to answer.
We just want to know what kind of genre you preferred. So,
I see genre. I prefer any genre which has got acting in it, because I am an actor. And I know this may sound very awful, selfish of me, but I know that I was born to be an actor. Whether I'm any good or not is it's another matter. I know I was born to be an actor. Midsummer Murders, that came about. The theatre is like many professions, it has different consequences all the way around. I had just been with the Royal Shakespeare Company, which I had been for many years, working with John Nettles, who was, the chief inspector there, and he left the theatre to go to do that particular series, and he was very nervous about starting it, so he had friends of his who would make him feel all right. And he said, I have a special present for you, Julian. If you want to be in it, you can be in a wheelchair. So I was in a wheelchair, no moves.
there was another question first over there. Okay.
Well, hello again. I also have a question about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. If you could have picked the Grail in the last scene with the Templar Knight, do you think you would have picked the right one, or which one would you have chosen?
She wants to know if you would have picked the right or made the right choice in the
Well, do any of us know that? Having seen the film of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I don't think I would have chosen that one, no. I'd have gone for the worst looking one that was there. But it's amazing, isn't it, that sort of choice. That's a metaphorical choice. It stands for all sorts of things. And we all go through life having to make choices. And sometimes we make the right one, and sometimes we make the wrong one. That was a very bad choice. You chose poorly, as that knight in armor says. You chose poorly. No, I don't think I would have. I'm just as stupid as anybody else.
We have time for one final question.
Oh, only one?
Okay. But maybe tomorrow again. So this time it's for the ladies, of course.
Hello, nice to see you. I want to.
What are all these empty places here?
That's for the VIP ticket, guys.
VIP. You're the only VIP in the whole building. Welcome. Sorry.
I wanted to ask about the role as Aragog and Harry Potter, the second movie. How was that got? Because basically we see the spider, but we hear you. How did that go?
Aragog. It's quite ironic because I'm an arachnophobe. I'm absolutely terrified of spiders. My wife is called Isla, and when she hears this noise, she comes running toward, and it's this one, Isla! And that means there's a spider in the room. I got that simply by going to audition for it. Several very eminent actors went along to audition for it because they didn't know any more than anybody else does what a spider sounds like. And it happened that I made the right sort of noise which satisfied them that would do for the voice of a spider. My best connection, however, with Harry Potter is that you know there are two plays, theatre plays, the Harry Potter plays. Have they played in Germany? Have they? Well, my son, and the first time they did it, was Harry Potter, and that, aged about 35. Because it's all about him being older, rather than being older. So I know that franchise pretty well. And the plays are even more exciting than the films, because in films, you see the magic and it's all very good and wonderful, but you know it's film and you can do anything on film. But not on a stage, you see someone standing there and he turns into somebody else. Now that is magic, real magic. And that's why I'm so very fond of the Harry Potter stories.
May I add something? Mr. Glover, I've seen your son in two plays, as Harry Potter and Cursed Child and in Child of Science, actually.
She said that she saw your son in two plays.
You did! You saw him do them. Aren't they interesting, those plays?
Cursed Child
When the kids are all grown up with children and married and things like that. Would you agree with me about in the theatre, it's true magic? You see, one person will go off that side and immediately come on the other side. And that's not a trick. That is because it was the same person. That is impossible to do. But they did it. I know we've got to finish, but my boy was almost killed in that. It was so difficult backstage, such hard work achieving all the effects. And there was one effect when he's lying on the floor and a table comes down with the death of him. And as it was coming down, you heard a little click, and automatically did that, got out of the way, and it went straight onto the floor. It would have killed him. So they cut that piece of business.
And it can be really dangerous with all the stunts. We're very happy that you're here at the Power of the Fortress in Cologne. Thank you so much for joining us.
What?
You came here, that's awesome. Great to have you here. Look, and we hope to see you.